So now may I invite the next speakers and the panelists onto the dais. Nilesh Jain, co-founder and MD, Clinivintage India. So the next session is digital health, which is giving birth to new delivery models through mobile, Internet of Things, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. So may I now leave it to the moderator, Raghuram Janapareddy, to take this forward. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So,
Hi, Nilesh Jain, founder of Clinivantage. I'll keep it short and brief. What we're trying to solve is user adoption in the healthcare space. We believe technology can solve most of the problems, but I think the challenges are, to Sumit's point, how do we get the patient centric care? This statement is very powerful. When I say patient, the doctor is here. It means a lot of things, right? So talk about user adoption and also talk about adoption from the doctor side or the provider network. So we're building technology to look at that. We're building technology to collaborate with multiple partners in different spaces. We're looking at infrastructure as service. We're looking at API as services, and also building a platform to bring research into reality, which means deployment of research into adoption of science through technology.
summing up on what emerged out of this entire panel discussion, what we want to give the perspective is collaboration is the key. Technology is always there, and technology is just it's a skill. You have any questions? Yep.
My name is Preeti Rao, and I run an organization called WellG that's focused on health and wellness coaching for sustainable lifestyle management, for prevention and towards proactive wellness. So my observation from the entire session was, yes, technology is an enabler, allows us to reach out more people and reduces cost. But the fact of the matter is 70 to 80% of all hospital visits today are because of lifestyle diseases, and these are diseases stemming out of poor lifestyle choices we make. Right? And according to CDC, 50% of all of these chronic diseases actually can be managed and can be reversible to a great extent. Now, talking about AI and robotics and talking about technology intervention, where today in the current scenario, a patient gets about, a doctor gets to see a patient for about an average to 5 to 8 minutes, where a patient gets to speak only about 30 seconds. This is actually documented. So we're not even getting to the root cause of the problem. And an individual is far more complex than just looking at a physical dimension, looking at blood and looking at some urine samples. So there's significantly a lot more. So my challenge is for the future, as we embrace technology, we cannot forget the human interaction, our ability to interact with that individual and find out. So how are we going to face that in the future and help individuals really foster healthier lifestyles?
The question is very much towards futuristic medicine. There's a concept called harm reduction. I'm working with one of the biggest organizations that talks about harm reduction. I think as humans, we have to stop doing harm to ourselves. And that's a behavior change. It's not a medication change. It's not somebody coming in doing diagnostics and telling you this is what is wrong, right? And harm begins as early as 6-7 years old. So when we talk about technology, we're working with a company that looks at fitness levels for kids. Today, I have 2 daughters and I have no idea what their fitness levels. If I can just measure that from year to year, I'm not even talking about every month, right? And just assess that and see what are they predisposed to. Bringing in those behavioral changes at a very early age has a huge impact. We talked about this continuous blood glucose monitoring. We're looking at devices. Of course, affordability is going to be in question. And I believe in Moore's law, right? The technology cost will keep coming down. But I think having that information with you to make the behavioral changes is not the doctor's job. The doctor can audit, the nurse can audit, and that's where the technology comes. And we say, using our platform, you can measure everything, but I can't force you to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning and go for a walk. But I can nudge you. I can call your wife. I can call your spouse. Nurse can call you and they can chase you. I can send a phlebotomist to your home to do your HbA1c, right? So I think it goes back to behavioral changes and how can we bring technology into your home to enable these behavioral changes through a small nudge, through coaxing, or through taking you into a PHC. So I think that's going to be a challenge in future, right? And I do think that as the next generation comes in, they're more conscious. Of course, even the government is doing a massive push in sports and fitness and all that. But also, I think as the new generation comes in, we're more conscious of the data that we see. the data that we're getting fed and the decisions that we're making, right? So I think it's going to be a very much behavioral change using technology. How do you really change our behavior on a day-to-day basis?
Any more questions? Yes.
Yeah, one question, but for two people. Very quick question. My name
Five
is.
of us can answer. No problem.
I'm conscious that lunch is waiting. So my name is Parul. I'm a journalist from PR Movement magazine. My question is for Ashish and for Nilesh. Ashish, you talked about reducing FaceTime with doctors for patients. What kind of challenge do you think will be there in communicating this to potential customers for your product? Because there is a validation which happens when you go to a doctor. You feel good. If you've decided to go there, you maybe want that FaceTime. My second question is for Nilesh. The ASHA worker is probably one of the most overloaded person in the health system. How are you rewarding them to when you're rolling out your product? Thank you.
I'll just answer a quick question on ASHA worker incentivized models. And I think this is very relevant when we talk about PHCs. So when we talk about ASHA workers or the Gram Sevak, right, this is no different than going to a PHC. So when the the healthcare is not free, but the healthcare is provided at a very subsidized cost. Nobody is giving the subsidy. The technology is actually providing the subsidy. So the healthcare worker is incentivized financially and is also motivated by that village and the group of people to go do the service. And we've seen tremendous success when they were incentivized to actually deliver the care. Also by upskilling them is an important part, so they feel confident that they've got a doctor behind them who's real-time connected using the technology, call it telemedicine or tele-infrastructure, to be able to support their ASHA worker.
Dr. Rajiv Kapoor, my question is addressed to Ashish Gupta. I think you are out of touch with reality when you propose a solution where you want to cut down the consult time to seconds. It was rightly pointed out by her and Ms. Rao that patient needs more time with the doctor. In fact, many times patient just wants to talk it out with the person. He's lonely, he's depressed, he wants somebody to hear him out. The doctors who do not spend time with their patient have higher incidence of litigation against them and are not successful. There are more claims against the doctors and the hospitals where the doctors spend very little time. So I think you need to reconsider that. And related to that, Sumit also said something about the concessions, the discounts that are offered for if you get other members of the family. So if I have appendicitis, I should get everybody in my family operated on the same time to get a bulk discount. You said about timings, off-peak hours surgery. If I have a heart attack, I should time it for Sunday morning so that I get a discount. Aggregators in the market, if you go to Green Park, they are waiting there to get your CT, MRI done at a discount. When I ask them, how do you do it? He says, sir, we know the hospital which don't have any work.
So I think yours was more for non-emergency kind of situations.
No, I'll add a
kind
perspective to this, right?
yes,
Because when
not
we
for
talk about
emergencies, I'm sure.
overall cost, right, we are getting into preventive. It's not really about the discount. It's about the ability for us to reduce the overall cost of the infrastructure. The investment, capital investment in this infrastructure is massive. At the end of the day, when we invest in a stock of a healthcare company, right, this is not a public sector work. So we are also looking at ROI. Not that we want to take advantage of the customer saying we're going to give you discounts coming into a CT or an MRI, but also it's about utilization of the current assets to where we can match with the timing, right? And this is where I think technology is important, where transparency becomes very important. That did you do an MRI just because you had a discount or really had an issue to get an MRI done? Could you wait for 2 days and go on a Sunday morning at 8 a.m. versus doing it today right away, right? So I think technology is looking at bringing transparency to the system. When you have the pharmaceutical, when you have the diagnosis and the symptoms of your issues, right? Anybody can assess, go into the system and assess whether this was done rightly or not. And this is where I think technology and systems become important to bring safety and transparency into the system, where the decisions made by doctors and hospitals or clinics are being supported by the data that's provided by the system. And I think this is where the trust becomes very important. Today, we don't trust the system in India. We're very easy, very quick to blame doctors on certain things. And I see a reverse trend where my own daughter is thinking about getting into medicine, and I've got 2 of my relatives saying, hold on, right? I think we want to make sure that the trust, transparency becomes the core of the technology, where these decisions don't get questioned, especially when there is enough medical data and medical backing into those decisions, right?